Hi everyone! So recently I learned about a nice little trick in Path of Exile 2 that allows you to zoom out the atlas a lot more than normal. As you can see here right now, you can see a lot further and a lot more at once with this one little trick that the developers do not want you to know. What I'm talking about is, well, there is a little sequence of input you can do to get this zoom to work much further. So this is usually how you see the atlas here, and it can be a bit troublesome to try to find, especially citadels or something you have left behind, or maybe a path you wanted to explore later on or something like that. Especially if you have been blasting many maps and there is hundreds of maps on your atlas and you're trying to find again where was that citadel here, in case you found those. And yeah, sometimes I leave them for later myself, for example, and it can be quite issue to find them again. So with the zoom, it's much easier to do. And the way this works is that you have to be in your atlas like this, and then you use your mouse wheel to zoom out, or whatever you have as your button to zoom out the character. So like this kind of zoom here, not the map. So this can also be done, but this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the character zoom. So you zoom out and press escape. And then the next time you open the atlas, it will be further zoomed out if you do it correctly. I didn't really time it right because I was showing it off, but here we go. And now, as long as you don't touch the zoom again, you will have this further zoom and you can actually see a lot more, which is really helpful. Also, it allows you to more easily kind of trace back the path. So in case that you have done a lot of maps or you want to uncover, some other areas again, sometimes it doesn't render properly and it just kind of cuts off somewhere. And I think this further zoom actually helps with that a little bit. But there is another trick that you can do, which is you go back to the start by pressing on the skull, which points you to the monolith, or also the home icon here. And if you go back there, then usually it will render the entire atlas. Another way is also to just log out and log back in. That helps sometimes. But yeah, especially if you have a really large atlas and you've run hundreds of maps like I did, yeah, sometimes it just kind of cuts off and then you can't find anything anymore. And especially if you want to go back, for example, now I'm leveling my new character here and I'm not quite ready to do my stone citadels and stuff like that just yet. So I'm kind of just leaving them here, whatever I find. And speaking of citadels, I still keep hearing these wild speculations and theories about how to find them and what to do about it, because there are people that have been blasting for 100 hours or something and still haven't found one. I don't think there's really a big secret. So, this follow the corpses kind of strategy or whatever, I think is completely bogus. It's just to keep blasting. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. You see here, sometimes they can appear literally next to each other. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 stone citadels here, back to back to back, but there's no copper and there's no stone, no iron citadel. So it just kind of happens sometimes, and then you just keep going another 100 maps and you don't find any other citadel again. So you just keep blasting. So that's just how it goes. My strategy in general though, having found, I don't know, maybe it's somewhere in the range of 30 plus citadels at this point, I would say just try to uncover as much as possible of the atlas, go towards where there's many towers, for example, and not so much water areas. Water is always just empty. So when you uncover a tower like this one here, for example, well, it will show you, well, mostly sea, and in a sea there cannot be anything. So I always go for towers that show kind of promising amount of land around them, so you can always see this in the distance already with the fog. And for example, here I'm trying to currently path down to this tower and then maybe to this tower or so, because with all these towers, it means there's going to be a lot of other maps around, most likely no water, which means there's a lot of space for maybe having a citadel or something like that. And this has been going relatively well for me. So in this case, for example, also here, I can go to the left and we can see what's behind this tower, but there is probably water here. You see there's a lot of nothing, there's no tower showing. Here's some more showing, so maybe there's a little stretch of land. And then water again, we can already see a little bit here. And this means this might not be the best approach to go. So something down here, there's a lot of towers. And this is usually where I'm going for in order to try to find those citadels. But in the end, it's always up to RNG, I think. And we have not really found a reliable way of finding citadels or spawning them or something like that. I guess it is also up to GG to maybe do a bit of an overhaul of the system at some point to smooth out that RNG to some degree at least. And we'll see what happens in the next patches. But for now, I just wanted to share this little trick here and some of my thoughts on the Citadel, since that's a pretty hot topic all the time. Every day I get dozens of questions, so maybe this helps you. Hope you enjoyed this little video here, and I'll see you guys next time.